If you're tuning in right now, no, it's not a coincidence that you were meant to receive this message, and this is on purpose and by design. Know that you're always, even in times of self-doubt and when you don't see it, you are eternally being supported by a higher power, and that you will never go without, and to recognize that. If you can, and if you're in a space to do so, I want you to close your eyes and take some deep breaths. Notice the space you're in. Notice your body, and if you can get into a more comfortable position, go ahead and do so. Bring your attention from the top of your head to your shoulders, your arms. Notice the breath moving your chest and your belly. And try to find a moment of gratitude. If there's anything that you can think of that you're absolutely thankful for, go ahead and acknowledge it to yourself. And be assured that you are blessed. That you have purpose. And even when you don't see it, you are constantly being strengthened in your purpose and in your faith. And open yourself to receive opportunities. Opportunities to receive goodness, to receive wholeness, to receive all that is good for you. And trust that you are loved and supported more than you know. Hello, I'm Zara Holly. This is the Spirit of the Hustle. I am your beloved and supported host and celebrated. And today, for our very first episode, we have a very special guest, Lady V of the Kulture Vibes. I am so blessed and so privileged that we have a personal relationship, and I've known her for very long, so I feel amazing about this, and I'm ready to get into it.
Let's do it.
Yeah. And know that everyone expresses their faith differently. No one can tell you how to have a relationship with God, that it's deeply personal. Of course, be open to guidance, and be open to the ways that God speaks to you and the way that feels good for you to express your faith and acknowledge your faith and practice your faith. And also hold that grace and space for others, that it is a personal journey. And our intention is to practice love and acceptance and to explore the relationship between faith and entrepreneurship. Big boss Lady V Culture Vibes from Cameroon to Maryland. What's up?
237 all day. I'm feeling great, Zara. Super excited. This is like my first podcast. Oh my God.
Yes.
I'm excited. And I'm super excited, like I said, to just do it with you, Zara. Like, I've known you forever, and it's just such an honor to actually do it with someone that knows you the most. So let's do it. Let's get into this. I'm excited.
I think, I definitely feel good about this because I've seen a bit of your journey as an entrepreneur. I've been privileged to be influenced and inspired by you and motivated by you. I say often, like, I don't respect every hustle, but I appreciate the art. but I respect your hustle. You're definitely someone where I respect your hustle. I love everything that you do. And you're always going to show up for your family. And I love the ways that you learn and grow by showing up for yourself.
Thank you.
And it's really an honor to like watch you love yourself.
Thank you, Lara.
You know, I think it's important as women that we do that. And it makes me like so happy that I get to celebrate you and be a part of it and be included in it. Like, you mean a lot to me.
Oh, thank you so much. It's just such an honor to hear that, because I just think it's important to give people their flowers while they're alive. So, you know, I feel the same about you, Zara. Like, you're just such a fighter. Like, always been an entrepreneur in spirit. Like, everything
Hustlers.
you did was great, and just an artist, and was always shining, you know, never let your light dim for nobody. So I'm grateful that you know, you kept pushing and you still pushing, and it's just never late, right? I know it's been years, but we have time to tap into that, whatever God has for us at any time. So it's not an accident, it's not a coincidence. It's just the right time is always the best time. So
I love that.
I'm super excited. Yeah,
I'm gonna remember that. The right time is the best time.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Oh, how many years would you say you've been an entrepreneur? Because I know like some people ease into it, sometimes they're called to do it, but how many years officially do you think you've been your own boss?
From what I remember, like here, I feel like I've been an entrepreneur my whole life for real. Like, I feel like this is what, like, yeah, hustle. I come from a really hustling family. Where I come from in Cameroon, I feel like the life back home is very fast, and most of our families made money by hustling, which is selling a piece of bread, a piece of whatever they had, to sell to make money to feed other people. So just having that kind of mindset was what I always had. You know, growing up here, it's a little different. You know, we don't have to hustle so young, but when you get to a certain age where you're like, well, I'm getting older, I got to make my own money. I think that clicked in. Like, look, when I was like 13 or 14, I was like, look, I can't ask my mom for no money. So just being able to use those skills, right, that I see my families back home tap in to make money, whatever it was. So I think I started making like jewelry, like beads, waist beads, and I was like selling in school. And I was like, look, I'm making money off this. So just finding something, create, just flipping. I was into flipping a lot. So the right things. So I think that that was something that has always been in me, and it was just a matter of time to really like come out and get to it.
So what I'm hearing is, and what I want to acknowledge is those who came before us. And although there were times that, you know, we might have gone without or seen others gone without, we both always had examples in our life of people who made a way where it seemed like there was none.
Right.
And that, to me, is like defines the spirit of the hustle.
Right.
So when we saw people make a way, it showed us how to make a way, or at least invigorated us, like with the confidence, the will, the spirit, and to know that we can make a way where it seems like there is none.
Right. Right.
Yeah. Can you identify a moment from this week that's worth celebrating and sharing that you're grateful for?
Grateful. You know, it's just this week, right? Because I'm always just blessed and grateful for everything. My son just started soccer, and I'm just grateful to show up at his practice, Zara. And it's just the little things that me as a parent, that I see my parents couldn't do with me. And I'm just like, yo, I just try to show up for my kids. So I'm grateful that I can show up for my kids. Because I know, you know, for whatever reason, when I was in sports or played soccer, I didn't have that support system. So yesterday I was able to attend one of my son's soccer tournaments. And it was just amazing that, you know, to cheer him on and be that support system for him. So I know it's small, but for me, it was just like really big for that.
I want to hold space on that and expand on that you're showing up, you acknowledge that you get to show up for your children in ways that your parents weren't able to show up for you.
Mm-hmm.
And it can go one of two ways, because people who go without can either grow up and not take responsibility for their life and choose to not show up for their kids, like, and have that intention and learn from, that void or that pain or like what we went without. But I think the difference between the people who do choose to show up better and want to be better and want to give the things to their children that they didn't have is their sense of faith.
Yeah.
I think that's the main difference. People who have faith and trust in any sort of higher power are able to find the strength and receive the strength to face their fears and to do better for themselves in the next generation and say it is bigger than me.
Yeah, you're absolutely right about that. You're absolutely right. Just changing the narrative, right, of life and be like, look, just because my kid, I went that as a child, just being different, just changing there for your child so they don't have to go through the same thing you went through. So sometimes I sit and reflect about when I just look at my kid's life and I'm like, man, be the little stuff that we can do.
It reminds us of our purpose in life. And I know at a time where I was constantly questioning, like, what is my purpose? And I would also always associate it with, like, career, and, like, my usefulness in the world. Someone said something that completely changed my perspective forever. They said, every person has the same purpose, and that is to be in service. Be in service to others and find strength and faith in God in order to be a good servant.
I like that.
Yeah. I think that's truly a fulfilling practice.
Yeah.
So in your experience from childhood and to now, do you identify with any of, like, the major faiths or religions? Do you have any, like, specific major religious practice? Would you describe yourself as spiritual, as religious, as both? And can you tell us about that relationship? Like, were you influenced to follow Christianity or Islam or anything like that? And just tell us about your religious relationship with, yourself and faith.
Religion is like, it's a topic that people are always afraid to speak of, and because we all believe in we all have so many different beliefs. And I'm just gonna get into it a little bit about my background. I grew up as a JW. Some of you guys know that stands for Jehovah Witness. And when I grew up, that's what my family was in. So I'm not really sure if that's what I really wanted to do growing up. So when I got older, I just kind of like wanted to explore a little bit and see different religions. Yeah. So when I got older, I feel like it changed a little bit, just because I was so used to believing and practicing one religion. And then Jehovah's Witness religion is really different from a lot of different other religions. So that helped me. Like, we went from not celebrating birthdays to now I'm like celebrating birthdays, and I'm doing all these other stuff. So I feel like my journey, I feel like my spiritual journey is like I feel like religion is always like it's a journey with God. Like, it's a self journey with God that we all go through, because we all have different journeys. And sometimes everybody goes through different things, and we might go to a church and yes, the pastor might be talking to us, but he's going through his own thing too. So I feel like being in tune with yourself and tapping in with I know God is real. I now identify myself as a Christian, I believe. So I believe that as I've been through so many things in my life that I know that as a Christian, it's just nobody but God that has, saved my life or showed up for me in those times. So I'm not gonna sit here and never um, give higher things to the man above for everything that he's doing, because I try to tell people I think that's what helping me for real. Having a relationship with God is like, it's like, everything's always gonna work out for you. Like, I just, you know you can tell other people your things and they can turn on your back, but God would never turn on your back, and he would never let your secrets out. So I feel like I know that a personal relationship with God is needed for me, because I've spoken to God about so many private things in my life, and he always showed up. And so I just work on that daily. Always make sure I don't forget to pray, and having that connection with him. And not only having a connection with him, but making sure my kids are connected with him, and tap into him and build that relationship at a young age, because it really starts young. So
There's two things I can identify that um, really moved me in what you said. And the first is, would you agree that having and cultivating a relationship with faith and with God expands and affirms and strengthens your relationship with yourself?
for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
And the other thing is, I love that you brought up your natural curiosity and that you exposed yourself to different cultures and religions, and it helped you come full circle, like, into yourself, and really affirm that you're making a choice, because our
Yeah.
parents can guide us, they can lead us, they can tell us things, but it really is a personal journey. And I just want to acknowledge anyone out there who's struggling with their faith, struggling with their religious identity, experiencing any shame around religion and any shame around their curiosity. Just know, as a child of God and as a human, that is your journey, and I want you to feel free and feel empowered to explore your curiosity and expose yourself to new things, and know that that will lead you to certainty.
Yes.
That path of curiosity will not lead you away from God, but it'll lead you closer to God.
Yes.
And it'll lead you closer to yourself. And I need you to show up and be brave to yourself, with yourself, and be brave, and don't allow people to make you feel bad about that. Don't allow people to make you feel shame about your journey, no matter what. So, yeah, I just want to acknowledge anyone out there who's, struggling with that. I can say it's like normal and natural to struggle with your faith sometimes. I've like had my, personal
Right.
battles and overcoming
Right.
and
Right.
beliefs and stuff, and I'm still figuring out, but I know that over the years I only stand to become more and more and more affirmed in my faith and in my belief in myself and what I'm capable of, and my love for myself.
Yeah, it's really important. Like, I'm not even sure how people do it when they're not even.
Yeah.
It's hard out here, for real. So.
I know I never agreed with the phrase of like fear God, because fear cannot live where love exists, especially so boundlessly and unconditionally. But I think I interpret it as it's okay to fear life without God, because that is scary.
Yeah.
If I didn't have this,
Right.
belief, then
Right.
I wouldn't have a lot of will. Describe the space you're in now as an entrepreneur. Are you experiencing any challenges? Are you finding things worth celebrating? Are you expanding? Please plug yourself. Tell us about your business. Tell us more about what you do. And just tell us where you are as a boss.
Well, entrepreneurship is such a tough journey, but it's also fun too. My brand, I started Culture brand back in 2016, and
Culture Vibes with a K, don't get it twisted.
yes, Culture Vibe with a K and Vibes with a S. Okay, so this Afrocentric brand was to kind of like help empower um, young kids or teenage or millennials like me that are struggling to embrace the culture. Growing up here, when I came here, about I think I was 7 years old. Believe it or not, I struggled with many challenges, language barriers, or just being bullied in school, or just it could be a lot of challenges, and I was extremely young to be going through all those things. But I believe that there's always a good into everything. All those things that I went through helped me kind of like shape me the person I am today, and being able to tell my story about that. So I use my brand to teach and educate about my culture. And it's not just about my culture, actually. It's just about no matter what culture you're from,
Celebrating your
you
culture
gotta
identity.
celebrate your culture identity. Like, it's not about just being Africa. I don't care if you're from Europe, Southeast, or wherever you're from. You have to. It's very important to celebrate and not run for where you come from, because I believe that that's what I did for many years. I'm just being transparent right now. Like, for the longest, I kind of like was trying to run away from my culture and trying to pertain another identity that I was not, or just, and that it's very, it's not healthy. So I just feel like being aware and being accountable of your actions in life can help you being in the right state of mind to make the right decision. So just I'm using this brand to kind of like help others that are struggling with embracing where they come from, to kind of like be proud of each one teach one, like I'm always telling someone about something from Cameroon or something from my culture, whether it's food, whether it's what the weather is, whether it's something. So this logo actually is me and my oldest son, Caden.
Oh my
And I'm
god.
carrying him on my back because that's when, you know, I feel like I had to teach my son those cultural
I
vibes.
love that. Your story is literally in the product.
Right.
Yeah.
So just teaching my children, it starts from self, right? And teaching from home. So teaching him those cultural vibes and what we do home and what Cameroon is about, because he grew up here,
Yeah.
and I didn't want him to get lost in the
Yeah.
sauce of what Cameroon is about. So
That is so powerful.
yeah.
I've honestly, as long as I've known you and as much as I've seen you hustle and I've experienced like, your products and your business and stuff like that, I've never explicitly heard you say out loud and describe the mission and intention behind it.
Yeah.
And it's so important.
Yeah.
And I know people get into entrepreneurship and they like to call themselves CEO to receive like the glory and the success. And there is a heightened sense of pride that you get from being self-made. But honestly, being an entrepreneur is a selfless thing.
Yeah.
It involves a lot of sacrifice.
Extremely.
And can you describe like some of the sacrifices you've been called to make and how faith has showed up in your entrepreneurship like journey?
Yes. Some of the sacrifice as an entrepreneur, I'm not gonna lie, it's always hard financially to, produce, to just have that visionary mindset consistently when you don't have enough funds to invest in your business, or to don't have enough time to put in your business because you're working a 9 to 5 or you're a mom. But I truly believe that when you have a vision, it's really important to make time for that vision. So the more that I tap into my business hard, the more I see the results. And when I sleep, I see the sleep. So I just feel like using different strategies to build my brand this year, and just finding different ways to tell my story, being on different platforms like here today. And it's definitely helping me build my brand these past years, because you have to tell your story. If you're not telling your story, then nobody really knows what you're doing. So the important is showing up, and it's hard. It's extremely hard.
It's a vulnerable place to be in.
Right, especially I'm a mother of my son. He's autistic, so I'm always finding challenges
Yeah.
with my personal lifestyle, with
I
my
find that,
business and work, to
yeah.
try to balance it out. And it's like, dang, I thought I would be a millionaire by now, but it's like, but
You understand, like, it's
yeah,
the long game, and when you are uniquely challenged, then you are uniquely called
right,
to be an example and to
right.
make a way and to do something new, and that the path that you make will help others.
Right. And it's not a race, and all those challenges, those actually help you find purpose for real, because you're like, look, you're not in race with nobody. This is your assignment, your journey, and it's going to be all right, because you can't try to compare yourself to other entrepreneurs that are already at a certain level and you're behind. Like, no, we are fighting different challenges in life, but one thing I know is just being consistent, keep showing up and not giving up. That's just the key. You just don't give up on your dreams. And I know I've been doing this for a very long time, but I'm not going to stop.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
If you're listening out there, I just want to check in with you. Pause, take a moment, and if you can take your phone out, or if you have pen and paper, let's go ahead and check in. Your vision is the mustard seed. Your vision
Yes.
only stands to grow. You have nothing to lose, and you stand everything to gain. Your vision is the mustard seed. Your faith supports your mission. Identify your mission. Notice where you are in your faith journey and ask yourself, how can I strengthen my belief in myself and my belief in God? Acknowledge the ways that you feel supported by the universe and the signs that it's showing you right now to be courageous. Identify your mission, identify your vision, and know that you are always supported in that, no matter the challenge. If you want it, you can go get it.
Yes.
Ask and you shall receive. And where you seek answers, you will find them. Mission, vision, faith.
Mission, vision, faith.
Yeah. What have you learned about yourself through your spiritual journey and also through your entrepreneurship journey?
One thing I learned about myself through my spiritual and entrepreneurship journey, life is not a race. Sometimes we need to slow down and just focus on, we got self work. Because a lot of times we want to give and be seen and make money, but we're not ready, because we need to do work on self. So I feel like, whether it's working out, finding something that brings you peace, and is very important, so you can navigate through the process. Because if you don't tap into that, you're gonna get lost in the sauce, and it's gonna be extremely hard to keep going, because you just don't have that balance, right? That balance in life to
Balance. You're always adapting, adjusting, and learning, and that informs the balance.
right.
But you have to acknowledge that balance is key, and you can't overwork yourself, be too hard on yourself. That you deserve that.
Right. And knowing when it's like, knowing when to take a break for real sometimes. Because
I've rebranded 1,000,001 times. Like, people know me more now for how many times I've rebranded, more than probably as like a business person, to be honest.
And it's okay.
Queen of the rebrand. Don't be afraid to start over.
That part.
Failure only informs success.
That part.
You can't fail.
No.
If you learn from failure, mistakes, or whatever. Yeah.
It's all about that self-work.
You can never lose when you have faith.
Never.
I genuinely believe that.
Never.
And that's honestly, that's the key for me.
Yeah.
As long as I remember that, like, you can't lose when you're supported by a higher power that's infinite. You know what I mean?
You cannot. And it's always that faith. And I always say everything's always gonna work out for me, man. I always say
and
that.
it does.
And it does. I just feel like, look, I'm not gonna trip about that. Okay. I'm not tripping about things I can't control. I'm not going to give it that energy. I'm not gonna give it that thinking of. I'm not doing any of that. So just having that faith, like you're saying, man, it's powerful. I think it'll take you a long way, just knowing that. Why do you want to think it's not going to work out? Like, so changing the narrative how you think every day. And it's extremely hard, but we got to, something that you fight in. That's what I saw.
The grit, the fight, the hustle.
Yes.
It's the spirit of the hustle.
Yes.
And going into, I'm going to say our final part of our very first conversation of the spirit of the hustle, I'm going to call on you to notice, observe, and recount the person that you were 10 years ago. Where you were in life, the people around you, who you were, the things that you were doing, and the vision you may have had or not had. And I want you to notice the growth that you've had in those last 10 years. And I want you to share with us and say out loud a message that you would want to say to yourself, to your 10 years ago self in 2015. Wow. What was Vanessa? You don't have to tell us what Vanessa was going through then or like where she was, only if you feel comfortable. But I just want you to share with us the message that you would give to yourself back then.
If I can give a message to myself 10 years ago, don't be afraid to use your voice. I just feel like a lot of times we go through things and nobody knows what we're going through.
Yes.
Nobody knows. So if you're not speaking or if you're not telling someone that you're going through it,
then they can't support you.
They can't support you. They can't, so
I'm just now learning how to lean on people.
And just speaking how you feel, whether people don't like it, however. But I just feel like 10 years ago, the old me was always holding things in, not speaking how I, because but now I'm showing up for me. I'm just doing what I want and just kind of like doing what's best for me. Putting me first. That self, because I don't think I did that before. That's
how everything flows. Yeah. I think that's how you enter a state of flow and less worry is when you're prioritizing yourself.
Right.
Everything else just flows. Like your kids, if they see you sacrifice and make sacrifices in a way that's harmful to you and you can't show up for them,
Right.
Like you don't have to martyr yourself. The more you pour into yourself, literally, I know a lot of people say it and it's like, it's what do they say, like stereotypical or whatever, I don't know, I'm forgetting the word right now, cliche. I know it sounds cliche, but that is so real. When no one's gonna put you first, like you can show up for yourself. Right. And once you start doing that, not only do you set the standard for the universe, God, the higher power to meet you there and continue to shower yourself with the standard of care and abundance that you require, but that also spills over into everyone else in your life.
And you show up so much better for other people.
Yes.
Like that's it, it's like that self-work you can see it when you show up for others that, she's been working on her.
Well, Lady V Bijou, I want you to go ahead and shout out all the ways that people can follow your journey and or reach out to you. Go ahead and plug yourself, whether it's digitally, where people can find you, where people can patron your business, where people can spend money with you. Go ahead and give us all of that.
Yes, make sure y'all follow me on Instagram _ the Kulture Vibes, Kulture with a K, Vibes with a S. We're also on Facebook at the Kulture Vibes. on YouTube. Please, I have so many great things coming up. And we also have a website where you could purchase some merch.
Ayo.
www.culturevibes.com. And yes, just plug in and let's stay connected, guys. I definitely have some amazing things that I have coming up this year. So I'm definitely excited to grow the tribe.
Yes, 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 yes. And thank you all for tuning in to the Spirit of the Hustle
Yes.
with Zara Holly, your
Thank
celebrated,
you.
loved, and supported host.
Thank you for having me, Z.
All the links will be in the description where you can find Lady V. Where you can
Yes.
find Lady V and support her and follow her journey. I'll make it easy for you. Go ahead and click those links, and I hope you have the best day, the best week, the best month, the best year, and stay faithful. Bye.